so happy to and privileged to be sharing the dais with Lakshmi Narayan sir. We always in government look up to him to give us direction. He's part of our think tank. I'm part of his team for the ICT Academy, which he heads as chairman. I'm so happy to meet up with Somu. We met at Connect last time, and Kriba, of course, is mercurial. And that's the word I can use for Kriba. An amazing leader, speaker, you name it, blogger. Anyways, very privileged. I'm a very compulsive speaker. So if you don't say get out, I will continue to speak because we all love our voices very much, and government officers are very good at this. So Kriba, you could just time it if you can tell me when I should stop. I'll get back to my chair. Very privileged to be part of this August gathering here. There are 2 or 3 things happening. One is you're completing 13 years in Doyences, and your leader, by example, has chosen to give all the credit to the members, your team leaders, team members. And the second thing which has happened and which is very important to realize here is that we all have certain potential. I keep saying this. The biggest crime that any human being, any family, any district or any state or any nation can do is not to realize its potential. Because it all lies within us and it requires somebody or some inspiration to unravel. And I've seen it here that Kriba has been instrumental in unraveling that potential in you to come out with books. Writing a book is not a joke. I have seen it in many of the universities abroad. The rigorousness, the extreme discipline that you need to bring into the writing of a book is extremely severe. It can be nerve-wracking. And I'm sure the 25 authors would have gone through that. I just had to have a glance through what you've written, and what Sir was telling is extremely beautifully well indexed. And it's all about technology. It can be extremely boring. But for people like you who are hands-on, I'm sure you'd like to refer it back, as Dheeraj said. So hats off to you, Mr. Somu, for doing this, because an organization can be very good on top line, and the CEO will always be looking at the top line and bottom line. So when is the next business is coming, etc. But he's looking at unraveling the potential in all of you. So that is one of the messages I would like to pass on here today, which is that everybody has a potential, and we are living, walking, talking molecules of talent, which we don't realize. And I realized that at 50 years of age that I can actually croon a little. And then a Smule app came to your help, and that's that's what lies within us. So this is an opportunity given by your boss, your CEO, to unravel yourself. And I would seriously request you to look at what you are. What is it that you have in you? And the ultimate idea is not about technology, not about work. It's about being stress-free. So I have actually unraveled the idea of how to be stress-free. I hold around 9 posts. In addition to being Principal Secretary IT, I'm also the MD of Tanfinet, I'm also the MD of Pumpuhar, but I close at 6:45. So if you're speaking of an 11-hour schedule, I'm saying it'll be taxing for all of you. Maybe you should think about letting them go early. I allow my people to go at 5:45, but government is different. You have different time zones. You need to work at US times or UK times, etc. But I'll give that to you. But again, at the end of the day, you need to be stress-free. So stress happens. I will tell this to you, and you can try this out. Stress happens when you start thinking about yourself. So stop thinking about yourself, think about others or your organization. Stress completely goes away. Because it's proven. You just think about yourself the whole day, and you will go deep into many memories will flash back to you. Many of the dreams that you will come to you. But if you start thinking about your organization, let's assume Doyences is doing, let's say, 200 crores today. Why can't it be a 1,000 crore company in the next 5 years? How is it that each individually we can contribute? So that's one of the things that makes me stress-free. I think about government and why government is at this level when private sector has gone up. I keep looking at all of you working in the private sector, so beautiful environment, etc. And think about government and say, oh my God, the potential of Tamil Nadu is here. We are not even scratching the surface. This is what drives me. And that's what we have tried to put into practice. 2-3 things that we are doing today, and one of the reasons why I'd like to be taking your leave early is because we are doing a 2,000 crore tender today. It's about connecting every village panchayat. How many of you are from villages? You'll be very happy to know that each of the 12,524 village panchayats will get 1 Gbps connectivity through an optical fiber cable that will be landing at the village panchayat service center. This will happen in 1 year's time. This is called BharatNet. We are also putting at what is called a Tamil Net, which means the entire state of Tamil Nadu will have around 55 to 70,000 kilometers of optical fiber cable running overhead or underground. It's around 90% overhead and 10% underground. And this is going to change Tamil Nadu. I look at this at, you look at Madras IIT Research Park. What's happening there? Startups are doing so beautifully. They got an ecosystem. But at the village level also, people have a lot of talents. They are not able to do it because there are, I call these as circumstances. So is it possible to change the circumstance? When I brought back around 10,000 out-of-school children back to school in Krishnagiri, what I realized is that what my son has is a circumstance. What those children don't have is, they don't have a circumstance. So if we can give a circumstance through either, what we give in government is actually pelts, you take this free, take this free, etc. But is it possible to change their circumstance through intellectual intervention? So look at 1 Gbps connectivity at a village panchayat. We are given around 60 lakh laptops free to students by now. Just imagine that laptop lighting up. The father able to use it for his banking purposes, or the mother able to use it for her accounting purposes for the self-help group, or the child able to use it for entrepreneurship, education, entertainment, e-governance, you name it. It's going to be massive. This is one of the reasons that I'll be going out early, sir, because there's a chief secretary meeting today. So this is one big project. The other 4 things that we are doing, and I'm putting it in a nutshell, is, and I think this will change governance, because all of you are affected by governance. You would have gone to Taluk office, or you would have gone to collectorate. You never had a good experience, right? Somebody would have said, "Aye, romba busy, nalaiku vaange." They don't care about your time. So one of the premises on which I work is, if you are a citizen and I am a government, I'm part of government, and if you are entitled to the services, and I am paid for the services, then why should you ever visit a government office? So this is one of the premises. The second is, if you are a citizen and I'm government, why should you ever apply for anything? So these are 2 premises on which we are working, and we made the Honorable Chief Minister announce 4 major things which will impact all of you. And because you are part of technology, you will be intrigued to understand what will make this happen. So one is, we have set up and the next 5 to 10 years is going to be about emerging technologies. Let me tell you, it's about blockchain, AR, VR, machine learning, and drones and cloud and all this stuff. So we have set up a Center for Excellence in Emerging Technologies at the Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency. It's headed by a dynamic young IS officer by name Santosh Mishra. One fine day, if you can visit it, we'll be very happy. We have Friday seminars happening there on deep dives into technology, algorithm level talks, and some big time CEOs. For example, the guy who did the blockchain backbone for Estonia is Mr. I forget his name. He was there to talk. So that's the level I'm talking about. And we are bringing them every Friday to speak. So you can just walk into Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency, which is exactly opposite LIC. So we have plucked around 9 people with these experiences. So there's a blockchain expert, AR expert, ML expert, AI expert, IoT expert, you name it. All these are plucked out. We're paying actually very good salaries. I don't know how much you pay. We pay around 30 to 40 lakhs a year to all these guys who are there. 1. 2 is, and this I will call the triangle of transformation that we are trying to do in governance. So one is what is called the blockchain backbone. So we are trying to bring out the biggest blockchain rollout anywhere in the world. So that's around 40 crores, Honorable Chief Minister announced. And parallel to that, there's something called a state family database. So if my name is Santosh Babu, it can be spelled in 36 different ways, in 36 different databases of 36 different departments, because every department has its own database, its own stack, its own vendors, etc. So it's very difficult to actually say what benefit I have got, or is it possible to zero in on this person to give this benefit. So today data is so granular that you can actually go down to a particular level of a household and say, okay, this family requires this support. And it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of approach. So with the kind of data that's flowing in from all this, it's possible to kind of say, instead of giving everything to everybody, just give what they require to bloom so that the potential grows. Third thing is, so this state family database, this 150 crores, this 40 crore blockchain backbone. And the fourth thing that we are doing is, on top of this, is what is called predictive governance, which means You don't need to apply for your community nativity solvency, any certificate, from birth certificate to death certificate. So I keep saying, if you're born, you also die. So at birth, you get a birth certificate. At death, you get a death certificate. If after death also, you get a legal heir certificate. So in every phase of your life, you like it or not, there is government. So that's where we are all impacted, and you all keep feeling, why this is like this? Why should I go to this guy so many times? So we are trying to avoid all that by creating what's called a predictive governance. It's called a zero knowledge proof. It's a term in terminology in technology. Zero ID proof based predictive government service delivery, where you will get all your certificates in your vault. We call it the Makkal vault, because my predecessor Mr. T.K. Ramachandran did a wonderful job of creating what's called a Makkal number. Around 7 crore people in Tamil Nadu today have Makkal number approximating the Aadhaar number. It's a wonderful work that has been done. So that's kind of inspired us to do this. So the system will prompt different database of different departments, of different vendors, of different stacks to start working on those certificates. So it's like this. At 6 months of age, you will get an SMS saying your child is now ready for birth certificate, for a vaccination. And when the vaccine certificate is issued, it goes to the Makkal database and goes to the your vault. Then at 6 months of, say 5 years of age, you will get the same prompt without being human intervention saying you're ready for an Aadhaar. Similarly, that way. So that's the way we are trying. So these are 4 things. And 5th thing that we are doing is again on the second book that you wrote, which is about data security. Today, we get around 57 million hacks every month on government databases. 57 million hacks. That's the last month, the database. So we are actually very strong targets for being hacked. But thanks to our systems, we don't get hacked. Or maybe the hackers are not interested in government, so they don't do it. Anyways, we are creating what's called a cyber security architecture for TN, which will culminate in what's called a CERT TN, a SOC TN, a SAF TN, and a CMB TN. A CERT TN is a cyber emergency response team. SOC TN is, a security operations center, security architecture framework, and a cyber security framework for Tamil Nadu. So this is a major area of concern. The 5th thing that we are doing is on fintech. I don't know how many of you are interested in fintech. You're all technology guys. If you go to Chennai, OMR, you will find some of the best fintech works anywhere in the world. You go to Shell does $1 billion per day worldwide transactions. And the entire transactions are carried out through Chennai. Can you believe it? Our boys and girls are doing the entire $1 billion per day transactions through Chennai. Same thing with PayPal. PayPal does $17,000 per second. Entire thing done through Chennai. We don't realize our own potential. That's what I'm saying. I look at all of you youngsters sitting in this private sector doing world-class work. I have gone in these offices and then realize, oh my God, all this is happening and you're doing it for some foreign client. I mean, nothing wrong with it because that brings us money also. But why don't we get this into government also? That's what's prompting us to go into this emerging technologies areas. And we hope that in the next 1 or 2 years, you should be able to see the benefits of it as it were. And you will also be actively contributing to it. And one of the things I would like to tell Somo is that you should also embrace emerging technologies, because that's the area. Today, my home has become a smart home. We are launching what is called Elcott Smart Homes. So you can also try that out. You take a Philips Smart Home, it will be around 3 lakh rupees. So we are giving it 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 rupees. An entire app we have developed. You can actually go in there and say, okay, I have 5 lights, 10 lights, 3 ACs, one this thing to be, and a CCTV to be monitored when I'm here. And lo and behold, you get the payment gateway saying that this is a calculation. You pay that, then it goes to the call center. A call center will call you and say, okay, a team is coming to fix this today. This is what we are trying to do in volumes in Chennai. So this is a big thing that we are doing with IoT devices. So I got around 35 IoT devices right now in my home. I'm not sure when I say Alexa, who is hearing it? Is Amazon hearing it from there? But I'm worried. These are things, and the data privacy bill is also on today, being tabled in the Lok Sabha this week. So lots of stuff happening. Very interesting times for all of us. And you're there, right there, doing these databases and stuff like that. And when I started RDBMS, right back in 2000, we were talking about Access, Microsoft Access. It's not an RDBMS in any sense, but that was the first software on which we started. And then Oracle came, and all these SQL and Postgres and all those databases came. And today we are in a situation of plenty. And we have our young boys and girls doing this world-class work. Trying to create a nation which will be a knowledge-driven nation, and with people like Dr. Lakshmi Narayan, who has given it. See, 2 organizations for a private sector person is amazing. My own personal feeling is, why don't we take Somu's audiences to be CTS, all of us sitting together? Why don't you do that? don't move out. I'm saying excellence is the key. Don't think about the self. எதிர்பார்ப்பில்லாத வாழ்க்கை. That's one. Second is excellence. What is world class? So I'll leave it with this thought. Singapore was a very, very poor country. It's a mafia-driven country in the 1940s, 50s. Just Google photos of Singapore of 1940s and you'll find the worst country ever. But Malaysia didn't want it, China didn't want it, America ran away, England ran away. But one man thought that it's possible to create a world-class society. And today what you see is amazing use of technology in making people realize their potential. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Technology is not about technology per se. Technology is about realizing one's potential. And you look at music, you look at any arts, technology is coming to you. Am I okay? Time is fine? Okay, I'll take one more 30 seconds more and finish this off. So I want you to think, because you're all, you'll be talking technology throughout, be stress-free, think about our poor. Okay, there's the last thing I'd like to say, because this, you can imagine this room would have been built by the poor, but once they complete, they have no access to it. Okay, the roads are built by our poor. Once they complete, they don't have a vehicle. The farmers are poor. They give us 3-4 square meals, but they commit suicide. My own artisans, and you see the airport, Chennai airport, is all done by my artisans. Poompuhara has done it. And when they complete that, they are in penury. So actually the poor is cross-subsidizing our happiness. And all our technology should go into making their lives better, because they also have potential. They also have potential. They are living, walking molecules. And if our country has to progress on one national highway, not 2, 3, 4 national highways, we need to think about them. So our heart, mind, soul, lungs, liver, everything should go into their welfare. My best wishes to you, Somu. Thanks for having me. God bless all the authors. Do very well. Thank you.